We have a big Godzilla presentation here today. We're going to start off with illustrator and manga artist and creature designer Shinji Nishikawa is going to demonstrate his art for you. So let's bring him up, Mr. Shinji Nishikawa. What character would he like to draw?
I've been trying to decide what to draw until the last moment, but I've decided to draw Godzilla and Biollante. どうぞお願いします。はい。
As he's going along, I'm going to ask some questions and we'll get a little dialogue, but obviously we want him to be able to do his work. So my first question would be, what inspired you to become an artist, especially in the genre of monsters and character art?
Same as I imagine everyone. I watched TV shows of monsters and kaijus, and they very much inspired me.
What particular programs or movies inspired you? Any favorite particular?
There was the very first Godzilla that he's drawn, or illustration he's done was Godzilla versus Mothra. So that was definitely the basis of what of his work now.
And how about any superheroes, henshin heroes from Japan? Is there anybody that inspired you as well, besides monsters?
My generation was very, it's got a concentration of all the subcultures that many Americans know today. And so the stuff that's really popular now, like Yamato, Gundam, I've been watching those on real time when I was a child.
Were there particular artists that inspired your work?
I'm also a manga artist, so the inspiration that I've gotten from is Reishi Matsumoto.
So tell us a little bit about your working as an illustrator, and then you begin designing the creatures in the kaiju in these Toho films. How did that work come about?
イラストレーターとして、それから怪獣アーティストとして、どういった経緯でそのお仕事に就かれましたか？
大学を途中でやって、ただ辞めるときに親父から本を作ってもらって、どちらの本を作る
college, but when I did, my father told me to publish a book, and that book was the Godzilla Godzilla Legend, and that has gotten the way towards tokusatsu and kaiju works.
And what was the first film that you did creature design for?
クリーチャーデザインをした映画は何ですか？
映画ではビオランテ。
Biollante.
So he was so everybody understands, he was the senior creature designer on the Toho films from Godzilla vs. Biollante through Godzilla Final Wars. So all those films he had a hand in, as well as the Unmade Films. So Mothra vs. Bagan, he did a lot of work on, and it never actually saw the screen at the end. Can you tell us a little bit about the process of creature design on these movies? For example, who has input in the final work? How long that process is to design a creature, for example, like Biollante, and how many people have input?
クリーチャーデザインにおける時の、プロセスについて少しお話しいただけますか？どういった最初どのようにデザインされて、いろんなどれくらいの人が関わっていくのでしょうか？最終決定権は誰にあるんでしょうか？
僕の場合は非常に複雑だったり、会社や誰がやるかにこだわるので、そこには言えないんですが。
I'm going to translate what he's got so far. It's very complicated in Japan, especially because it depends on who is involved in the work. So it depends on the people that's involved.
ビオランテはウイルスシリーズのものであったらば、特撮の担当であるパークコーチ担当が結構特大な決定権を持っています。
I have a question.
But for instance, Biollante, kaiju from the Versus series, the director Kawakita Koichi had the final say in what's going to happen.
And how many other artists worked on staff at that time? Or during any of the films, was there a particularly large group? Was it a small group?
映画そのキャラクターデザインをするときに、どれくらいの人が少ないときと多いとき、他にどれくらいのアーティストさんが一緒にお仕事をされていたのかありますか？
最初のビオランテは最後にメンバーだったので、自分がやる前に2年間いろんなアーティストが彼たちがありました。
When I joined the job for Biollante, I was the last one on the crew, so there were many arts from my previous co-workers for about 2 years worth of examples.
ただビオランテは疲れなくて、それ以降はメインで動いてるのは大体4、5人ぐらいですね。
But Biollante was kind of special because it took a very long time to finish him up. But after that, there's about 4 or 5 people, main crews for the arts.
For Biollante, actually, forget that for a second. I have a better way of asking it. It'll be a little easier. How about, does the design process also work with the suit makers in Japan on these films?
デザインをしているプロセスはスーツメーカーさんたちとも相談をされているんですか？
最初のうちは、実際に
At first, all I did was design the characters on paper, and then the director had the control over the suit making. But after building up some career, for example, Kiryu, I was actually there and giving some requests to the suit makers too.
Out of all the monsters he's designed, what is his preference for a favorite?
今までデザインした、怪獣の中でお気に入りはありますか？Biollante and Kiryu are the best.
What does he like about those that they're his favorite?
Biollante, the model that was created after the drawing was so much better than the drawing. That's why I love it. So that's when I learned that depending on who makes the models, there's a big difference of the results.
Is there a particular character or project that was a movie project that was very difficult, more so than the others he's worked on?
特に大変だったという経験がある、キャラクターもしくはプロジェクトはありますか？ Mecha King Ghidorah. Biollante was Shin Kaiju, like a new kaiju, and it was very organismic, has like fleshy texture. But compared to that, King Ghidorah was like the complete opposite. It was mecha-ish.
How about any of the unmade films that he worked on? What could he tell us about that? The films that he did design work on, but they actually weren't produced. Some of the Toho, either monster or Godzilla films.
怪獣もしくはゴジラのデザインをしたけれども、最終的には使われなかったもの、何かありますか？ There were very many. There was a lot.
There was many.
There was a lot in particular for Bagan. Mothra versus Bagan, which the whole movie was not created.
How far did they get along on that particular project?
I think I did about 20 monster designs of that movie. But they did not start the filming because they decided to switch to King Ghidorah at an early stage.
Is there a particular project, now that the Godzilla series in Japan has finished, it's been finished for 10 years, is there a particular project you would like to work on designing monsters?
ゴジラのプロジェクトからはもう離れていらっしゃるらしいですけれども、今でもまだ手がけてみたいと思うプロジェクトはありますか？もしくは思ったプロジェクト。Of course, I would love to work on designing anytime, but I still do some. I still do some. What is it? Illustration. Image board. Thank you. Yes. I still do the image boards for Ultraman, like Ultraman Ginga.
I know a lot of people are thinking this, so I'm going to ask it. What does he think of the American Godzilla that was released this year?
みんなが聞きたがっていると思うので伺います。アメリカのゴジラについてどう思いますか？
He doesn't have to be polite. It's okay.
社交辞令は結構です。I enjoyed it from the bottom of my heart, but when I saw it at first, it did feel slightly weird. But even Japanese Godzillas, they didn't draw the pupils, just white eyes, or their back fins got like super enlarged. So it's like it's same all like everywhere.
Would there be a particular American character that you would like to work on in the future?
今後は手がけてみたいと思うアメリカのキャラクターはいますか？ If there's going to be a Pacific Rim 2, I would like to design kaiju for that.
Does anybody here know the director? You can call the director. There you go. They're going to begin a Facebook campaign to the director of Pacific.
今この中に監督さん、パシフィックリムの監督さんとお知り合いの方いませんか？じゃあみんなで Facebook で、運動をしよう。I would of course love to work on Godzilla 2, but there seems to be already Mothra, King Ghidorah, and kaijus that's been already decided. So I'm not sure there's going to be any new kaijus that could be added to that.
I'm just waiting for we're going to bring in the actors in a second. He can continue finishing that up. Let me ask, what was his favorite manga that he worked on?
書かれた漫画で一番お気に入りはありますか？I've done it's not science fiction, but I've done a manga called Godzilla Kyojidai. So Godzilla, Maniac era. So he did interviews to a lot of directors and tokusatsu staff, and it's like a documentary.
But it's in manga form?
It's in manga form, yes.
Cool. What could he tell us about his, he did a manga, I forget the title, of many small Godzillas attacking Japan.
ちっちゃいゴジラ、タイトルを忘れてしまったんですが、ちっちゃいゴジラがたくさん日本を襲っている。
それがさっき言った大学辞める代わりに
That would be the book I was talking about earlier, the one I published in exchange to retiring from college. That's the, it's like a fan book.
So that's what got him noticed. And well, actually, let me ask first. So the manga portion was part of that, but there was also, it seems like he described something kind of like a retrospective book, like showing the classic monsters. Was that included, or was it just that story with the small Godzillas?
それは漫画だけだったんですか？それともそれに関して書かれた漫画だけ？ Just the manga.
It was just the
the
manga.
manga of the small Godzilla.
Okay, so as Mr. Nishikawa finishes the sketch, we're going to bring up the Godzilla suit actors.